Freak, he's in at point guard. Chris Bosh is out there with Johnson. Then it's Stoudemire. And it's Wade in at the 2 spot. Well, Greg, after a run of 10 playoff trips in 11 years, the Miami Heat missing the postseason last year, they'd end up a game back of the 8th spot.
Yeah, and what's hard for the Heat, Kevin, is that they were in the playoff picture for most of the year. And as the season wore on, they slowly fell out of that top 8.
Lance Thomas, he's checked in for Carmelo Anthony. And then for Miami, Winslow comes in for Chris Bosh. And it's Richardson in for Dwayne Wade. Here's Freak. And a miss there on the triple.
You know, guys, for the greater part of last season, it appeared as though the Heat were playoff bound. Even with the players they lost, most figured they would be playing postseason basketball.
Here's O'Quinn. Stoudemire grabs the miss.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
And Freak throws it down.
And, folks, he does more than just put 2 points onto their lead. He does it with a little bit of flair.
He sure does. You're right. It's a dazzling move to the bucket for him.
I'll tell you what, he may not be the biggest man in the league, guys, but he more than makes up for that lack of size with amazing aerial skills.
And one reason why the Heat did come up short in their playoff aspirations, they were very poor against other teams in the playoffs. So only went 15-31 against teams that had made it into the postseason last year.
To the inside, Afflalo. Soft touch off the glass.
And that's the kind of lead pass we've come to expect from him.
Freak dishes to Stoudemire. The jump hook. That misses off the backboard. New York comes into this one following a loss to the Magic in Orlando.
Probably their poorest defensive effort all season long. I mean, at home, that kind of D is not going to cut it. Never mind when you're on the road.
Hey, I don't know, guys. This may be all speculation. Perhaps they had a bad flight into town the night before, and we all know a rough flight in can lead to turbulence on the court.
Winslow kicks to Freak. Kicks it out to Richardson. Nailed from three-point land. Richardson's got his second basket of the night.
Nice pass. He got the ball right into his teammate's shooting pocket. On time and on target.
Al Roten, 11 points for him in that last game against the Magic in Orlando. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And we reached the end of the first quarter. And now a chance to hear from Chris Bosh about what it meant to him to become an NBA player, the fulfillment of a lifelong dream. What a great cut from Chris Bosh. That's the So New York going with almost an entire new group here. Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for Lopez. Lance Thomas comes in for Porzingis. Derek Williams, he checked in for Carmelo Anthony. And it's Afflalo in for Jose Calderon. And a new group in for the Heat. Amari Stoudemire, he's checked in for Whiteside. Winslow comes in for Chris Bosh. Joe Johnson, he's checked in for Luol Deng. And Freak subbed in for Goran Dragic. Okay, time now for an injury report.
It doesn't seem like too drastic of an injury. That is going to make things very hard on them in what is still a very young season. Hopefully, as early as it is, he has time to recover and help this team down the road. Guys?
Thank you, Doris, for the update. We appreciate it, and we really hope for the best as always.
And he's a tough guy. My guess is he'll be back before we know it, and better than ever.
Greg, I sure hope you're right. I mean, there are just so many uncertainties when it comes to dealing with injuries, though. Let's hope for the best.
On the floor for Miami, Freak, he's in at the point. Stoudemire out there with Winslow. Then there's Dwayne Wade. And it's Johnson in at the 3 spot. Roten, the pass to O'Quinn. On the wing of Afflalo, kicks it to Roten. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way. And now just a 4-point Miami lead. The Heat have gone 6 of 14 shooting here in the second. Well, guys, what a nice surprise Tony Roten was last season, especially effective taking over at the point, Clark, with Michael Carter-Williams gone.
Yeah, Roten put up a career-high 5 assists per game and really worked hard at the defensive end as well. He's one of the few talents on the Sixers roster that hadn't been traded away.
And you don't ever want to get into the habit of letting the offense get to the rim.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's the message they were sending with that foul. Nothing easy inside.
Richardson, he's checked in for Dwayne Wade.
And for Roten last season, he even took on more of a scorer's mentality. Went up in points, went down in field goal percentage. But like a boxer, he gets a little extra credit for pushing the action.
And, you know, talking about Roten, I think the next step in his development is to produce at the same level but with greater efficiency. Too often his highlight reel passes led to turnovers. He would gamble defensively, too. That's, to me, just a young player growing up on the job.
So he makes 1 of 2 as the second one misses.
Listen, the Knicks had a hard time scoring last year, just lacked any real presence in the paint, and lacking that paint threat makes things easier for the opposing defense. And you know what? His mind's playing tricks on him right now because he's not going to live that one down easily.
There's 38 seconds left in the first half. Pass to Afflalo. Outside Thomas. There's the feed to Roten. In the corner, O'Quinn with it. Clock at 6. That one wide left. The Heat leading by 5. Johnson dishes to Freak. The baseline J. It's rebounded by New York. Afflalo outside. Nobody near Williams. Hits the three-point bomb. Williams has got a pair of triples in the second now for New York. And so it's a close game.
Well, I'm with Eric Spoelstra.
Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can. Williams checked in for the Knicks. Tony Roten comes in for Aaron Afflalo. The Heat also changing it up. Stoudemire's checked in for Whiteside. And Freak subbed in for Goran Dragic. Anthony is out there with Williams. Then it's Tony Roten. Then there's Calderon. And it's Porzingis in at the 5, roaming the paint. That's the 5 for New York right now. Third quarter action, and just under 3.5 minutes have gone. Calderon has the open look, and Luol Deng pulls it down. Deng's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. Good! And now an 8-point Heat lead.
No matter what they've tried, the D just has not been able to deny them the ball in the paint.
And it's a big key thus far in this game, Clark, because whenever they've gotten the ball in the paint, good things have happened.
The drive by Anthony. The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And, Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know he doesn't miss too many open looks like that.
Roten, no good.
Well, one of his issues is he's a player that just does not excel at fighting through contact on his way to the rim.
And it's Freak missing. Knicks trail by 6. The drive by Anthony. Wade with the block. They get it back. Williams, that's good.
Really good example there of some fine interior passing before that basket.
And for Wade, we often talk about his physical state. But what about the mental toughness? Here's a guy who's been playing in some kind of pain every game for the past few years. But he just keeps churning the butter, not wanting to let his team down.
Greggy brought the topic of Wade. He's had a chance to make several tough mental adjustments throughout his career.
Well, he's always been a guy willing to alter his game for the good of the team. That's why he's got those championship rings, Kevin. You've got to be flexible, not just talented.
Yeah, when Shaq comes in and joins him, then he had to change away when LeBron came in to play.
Great credit to him.
Yeah.
Great credit to him.
Very admirable.
And how about a little bit of showmanship there as he increases the lead?
Oh, I like that. That's got to be, though, a tough pill for the defense to swallow.
Well, he's a guy that you know can hurt you with his passing, and right there, he does some damage with his finishing, too.
Roten kicks to O'Quinn. Williams sets a screen for Calderon. Pulls up, high post. Another miss by Williams.
Well, that's an excellent challenge right there. Good job contesting that shot by the defender.
Johnson kicks to Freak. That's in, coming off an assist from Johnson. And now a 9-point Heat lead.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
It really is. 5 out of 6 of their last field goals have come from the paint.
And again, it's the Knicks missing. 2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And it's out of bounds. The Knicks will take it the other way. Here is Calderon. He's got 6. Feeds to Roten. He got it! That is one fantastic buzzer beater!
He hit that shot like it was nothing. Just another day at the office.
That is what you call...
Well, welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. For the Knicks, Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for Lopez. Williams comes in for Aaron Aflalo. And it's Calderon in for Tony Roten. And a new group in for the Heat. Stoudemire's checked in for Whiteside. Winslow comes in for Chris Bosh. Richardson, he's checked in for Dwayne Wade. And Freak subbed in for Goran Dragic. On the court for the Heat, Freak in at point guard. Johnson is out there with Winslow. Then it's Stoudemire. And it's Richardson in at the 2 guard. Johnson, the pass to Freak. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. Free throw good. Freak. Here is Calderon. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. A solid win on the road for them. This building was dead silent by the time, GA, this one wound down.
And that's what you want to do. Take the crowd out of it by crunch time. Don't give them any chance to lift their team up at the finish.
And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Guys, I'm here with Goran Dragic, and what's been the key?
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith. Without further ado, let's present to you our Jordan player of the game, Dwayne Wade. He delivered quite a star performance. Not uncommon, as we've seen him have this sort of terrific night many times. And folks, that'll wrap it up for tonight. We hope you enjoyed the game.
What a life, eh, Freak? 1 minute you're playing 21 and horse on the courts in Harlem, and the next moment you're in the showroom. Configuring the gunmetal and graphite exterior of your luxury car and your iPad mini. Oh, I bet you get a crazy crowd when you drive that.
Tell you about Vic. He has his bad rap.